Hello, my name is Tim, and today I want to talk about how to get started in software development. When I first started, I was very confused about everything, and I didn't have much information about different software development types that are available. And today I just want to share some tips and tricks for you to make better decisions, because these decisions that you make at the start greatly affect your life down the line. Okay, let's go. Okay, so the first step you should take is to decide on which software development type you want to do. The reason why it is so important to make a good decision at the start is because it's very hard to switch down the line. The other reason is also that it's much easier to find a web development job, for example, if you have 4 years of web development experience, than if you have, let's say, 1 year of iOS, 1 of Android, and 2 years of web development experience. This is just how it is. When you have more experience with one platform or technology, it's much easier for you to find a job, to pass the interviews, and for companies you are much more attractive when you have more experience in what they want you to do. To see what options are available, I recommend opening up some job listing website and search for word developer. You'll see a range of different job titles and it'll give you a better understanding of what's going on in the market, like if they are looking for web developers or something else. You'll see the data and it will help you make better decisions. Okay, let's see what are the actual job types that we have here. First, we have web development. It can be further split into front-end and back-end development. Front-end developers build visual parts of the website that user actually sees and interacts with. For example, layout that you see on the screen with all of the pictures and texts, different forms, and so on. You'll be often given different designs that you will have to implement, so it's very good to have a good eye for detail. Frontend usually doesn't store any data, so if user opens up a website, it's run on his PC, and you cannot store anything really there. So for this, you'll have to communicate with the backend to notify it of any important changes or just to store some data. For example, if user uploads his profile picture, obviously you don't want to store it on only his computer, but on your own servers to make it available for everybody else. Okay, let's move to the backend development. Backend doesn't usually have a user interface, but it does have a different type of interface that other applications like web or mobile apps can use to communicate with it. This interface is basically a bunch of URLs that different apps can use to get or store data in it. For example, your backend can have a URL that will look like this one, and other clients like this mobile app can use it to get a list of all the products in your online store. The backend will respond with a message that will look like this one, and it'll be enough for the app to display the list of all the products to the user. The app can also send a message to the backend. For example, if user wants to save some product in his favorites list, the app can send a message like this one, and the backend will update its data. Next, we have mobile development. It can be further split into two main groups, native and cross-platform development. When you develop native apps, you build them for one platform only. Native iOS app, for example, cannot be run on Android and vice versa. But with cross-platform development, you can build an app once and deploy it to several platforms at the same time. You could ask, why would anyone develop native applications? Because then you have to build an app for each platform, and these apps usually look the same and have the same functionality. And the reason for this is quality. Convenience comes with a cost, and this cost is performance. Even though for some of the apps this kind of performance is acceptable, for bigger projects with higher requirements for quality, cross-platform solutions are just not a good fit. Mobile development is actually similar to front-end development, because mobile developers also build user interface, and usually they have to communicate with some sort of backend to store the data. But there are some important differences. For example, mobile apps usually store some data on the phone. The other difference is that mobile phones usually have much smaller display than laptops or PCs, for example. Screens in mobile apps are usually much simpler to build than on the website, because when you have large amount of space on the screen, you can fit all kinds of different features and views in there. But on the mobile phone, it's usually much more limited. Next, we have desktop development. And as with mobile development, we also have native and cross-platform solutions here. In this case, however, cross-platform development makes much more sense because performance is usually more than enough. Some of the apps that I use every day that include Skype, Visual Studio Code, and Slack are actually built with Electron, which is JavaScript framework that allows you to build cross-platform desktop applications. Another option for cross-platform development is Qt framework, which allows you to build cross-platform apps with C++. You can also always build native apps with tools provided by Apple like Foundation or AppKit for macOS, or with .NET and WPF for Windows. Next one is game development. Game devs usually use some game engine like Unreal Engine or Unity, with languages like C++ for Unreal Engine and C# for Unity to build games. Unity is often a favorite option for indie developers because it's much simpler than Unreal Engine is. During development, you'll also often deal with game assets like 3D models, for example, and their positions and interactions inside your 3D world. Then we have Internet of Things and low-level software for hardware. And if you like dealing with physical sensors or devices, it might be a great option for you. Some of the fields might be more popular than others, but I think it's much more important to pick something that you'll enjoy doing. I personally choose mobile development because I always loved the idea of mobile apps, I enjoyed using them, and I wanted to build something similar myself. I choose iOS development because after my research at the time, I discovered that iOS developers earned a bit more than Android devs. So far, I'm very happy with my choice, and I really hope that all of this information will help you make a good decision. If you want to learn more about any of these fields, I recommend searching for a position that you are interested in on a job listing website and just see what are the job descriptions and requirements to get a job. It will give you a better understanding of what you have to learn and how you have to prepare to get a job. You could also see salary information there, and for this I also recommend using a website like Glassdoor, where you could find an up-to-date information about salaries in different fields and areas. Okay, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm, and till the next time.